is this? You know, I never looked in the mirror, so I never knew how bad this looked, but just don't worry, guys, I factory reset my hair, okay? It was shaped really bad. It had the Oompa Loompa hair shape to it, okay? My hair's in a weird in-between phase. I have confidence and faith that it'll look normal in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, okay? Welcome to Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day, day 816. I'm your host, Brian Case, also known as Good Content. I guess on here, also known as your mom. And we're going to be straight, narrow. We're going to digest this paper on an absolute deadline of no more than 25 minutes. What's going on, huh? Aren't you proud of me? Managed to do it in the middle of the day rather than like on the cusp of 12 to 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. Wait, this is 12 p.m. Why do they label it like that? That makes no fucking sense. 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. But it's been a long-standing. I just don't know why in the world the status between AM and PM changes from 11 to 12 rather than 12 to 1. Like, you tell me why that makes sense. It should go from AM to PM or PM to AM from the hour of 12 to the hour of 1, not from 11 to 12. Just everything about that makes zero fucking sense. I'll say this, the 1 to 12 hour timekeeping thing, I believe that was invented before the age of science, which also means it was invented before the age of logic. So fuck that. Early stream today. Well, this is the type of terminology that we here at the Paper Stream are working against. We don't want for this to be known as an early stream. This is supposed to be the normal time for the Paper Stream. This is what it used to be. Actually, it used to be at 10 a.m. every morning. I would establish how active I would be and get this done as a good omen for the day rather than procrastinate to the last minute. I really fell off hard. I also used to upload regularly on the main channel. I'm very sad about that. As you can see, I've been just for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been constantly opining on how my want for quality over quantity has decreased both the quantity of quality on my channel. I do believe that the uploads are quality when they come out. It's just, at what cost? When only one video is uploaded every 2 years, yeah, of course the sub count's going to remain at 500 for the rest of the millennia. Hey, afternoon, Mesathula. You see, I noticed that once we actually start streaming during the day, we get a real crowd in here, so I can actually preach to the masses. So just know, eating paper is good for your bones, and also it makes your joint turn more fast. Turn faster. Turn more fast. Excuse me. What time is it for me? 12:11 p.m. It has a 2 in it, so, but also my hair is wet because I just factory reset it because I'm like, listen, we're doing an early stream. There might be thousands upon billions of people watching this, so I want to look somewhat presentable, but I think I kind of ruined it because, making your hair wet fixes your hair if you have bedhead, which I did wake up, in fact, 6 hours ago, so it's not even that bad, but it dries off, and that's when it looks good. It's just, I don't know why I do this, but it's fine. This looks normal. Spend the nights with my girlfriend. Well, good afternoon to you too, Miss Azula. So yeah, I feel like unless you're living in like South Africa, which no one here is, South Africa has a lot of people who don't know how to use iPhones or YouTube. So I'm going to assume that most of the people here are kind of within the proper hemisphere. That's a hair. Are in the proper hemisphere where they can't. What the fuck? Get out of here. They're in the proper hemisphere where this is a manageable hour for them. The best hours of sleep for you are in between, I believe, 8 and 12. So I screw everyone out of the 4 best hours of sleep every single night if I do regular streams at the normal time. This is the new normal. I mean, it won't be in a couple days. I don't think I'm going to be doing this consistently. I always say so, but then I never follow through. But I'm actually glad I just did this, so. Yeah, actually, put your countries in the chat and also your specific address and your social security number. I'm just curious as to how many people are in America and how many people are in Siberia. Also, I believe that there are 2 people in Antarctica and they're researchers, so they have computers. So there is a teeny tiny 2 in 9 billion possibility that someone in Antarctica could be a watcher. Why streaming early today? Why can't you normally? You see, No matter what I do, there's always going to be someone who's old-fashioned, who wants things back to the way they were. We move forward, not in reverse. That's what America stands for. Speaking of America, how many of you are in America? Here, I'm going to do a poll right now, actually. You don't need to actually put the effort into typing stuff out with your fingers. If you're not on Earth, label the planet or click not America. I would say, where do you live? But I'm going to put the question as life, question mark. There we go. I'm going to assume like I'd say 7 out of 8 people are from America here. I see. Very interesting. I'm going to assume everyone here is dead serious and no one's trolling. And I'm going to, because I know you guys will totally just fill stuff out just to confuse and disorient me. But it's not going to work this time because you will troll at your own risk. Because whatever shows up here, I will take as 100% truth. So, it appears that I appeal to foreigners. My mom thinks I'm not a charity worker, huh? I give to those in need, all right? And we're about halfway done with the sheet of paper. This is just good principle. So I can just, I might come out, here's what I'm going to do. I think at around the 10-minute mark, I'm going to dip out a little early. There we go. Hold on. Nothing but their own country. There's like 5 different ways I could interpret the meaning of that. Are you saying that foreigners should be patriotic or that foreigners should stop relying on America for asylum? I just think that foreigners need to be patient, you see, patient with their own nation so that their own nation can, I don't know, usurp whatever power-hungry, salivating dictator so they can get, a more optimal leader. It depends on what you want out of your leader, but whichever direction an individual wanted to go, wait, either vote or wave a sign around peacefully unless the government's not peaceful with you. And just make sure, geez, now we're getting complicated. As long as the government is not peaceful with you in reciprocation to your violence, right? There's a very important, stark difference between a government being violent with its citizens in reciprocation to the citizens enacting violence upon agents of the government, right? Now, obviously, the government has the right, and the individuals within the government have the right to protect themselves because individuals within the government are also citizens. And a citizen has the right to protect themselves if under attack. But if a government unprompted, unsolicited, is enacting violence upon their citizens, American governments do not do that generally. But there are many other foreign governments that do, then the principles change drastically because a line is crossed. Jesus Christ, that was the Izzy I drank. It was a clementine flavor. It's my second least favorite flavor. It was the only one that was left. But I do believe that if a nation and the government has legislation or acts or systems in place that involve attacking their citizens unprompted, if the citizens did not attack first and then people within the government reciprocated, even if you think that there's a power imbalance so the citizens are justified, I completely disagree. I think that's objectively wrong. Still, whatever you want to do, have faith in your country. Whatever means you find necessary based off the context, figure it out. I'm only saying this because apparently 50% of the 4 people watching are not from here. So if you're living in Lagos, just know, hope for something better. Hope your government comes with a cure for all the scurvy going on in your country. My apologies and condolences. Also, I don't know what I'm talking about. There's probably scurvy over there, honestly. If I were to think of like the #1 country where sunscreen is not sold, and they need it, is probably Lagos. It just sounds like the type of country where there's tons of diseases. Excuse me. So it could either mean that, or you're saying, the foreigners should only rely on their own country and stay the hell away from America. I don't know about that. In foreign countries like that, you could probably just go out to the boonies and live alone. You see, I know many things, but you're confusing me because you're using phrases that I just so happen to have never looked into. Boonies definition. Short for boondocks. Still don't know what the hell that means. Use over time. Ah, yes, people started using the word boonies right after the 1950s. When Eisenhower died, the boonies was birthed in his wake. A thinly settled rural area. Exactly. Of course I knew that. Yeah, you could just go out and live in a Lincoln log cabin in the woods. There are totally people in countries that can do that. I'll say this, I think people in America, even those who are in each radical end of the spectrum, no matter how supposedly knowledgeable they are, nothing is a substitute for experience, and I still don't think they realize. And again, I'm making a guess because I also don't have the experience, but I would assume that there is something lost in translation if you haven't experienced what it's like to be under the influence of a terrible foreign government that prevents you from doing anything. People don't really understand how freeing the American government is and how much they allow for us to do. Because there's tons of countries still who kind of function like the church governed a bunch of their kingdoms in the 1500s and probably before that, right? The medieval era has lasted for like what, 1200 years? Mm. On an even heavier and more politically complex topic, Lance H78 says, I need to drink more water. I only drink water and some lemonade here and there, but mostly water. So you're saying you only drink water mostly, but you still need to drink more water. That's a very interesting pairing of phases. I say, yeah, so you're saying you only drink water, but it's still not enough? Damn, no matter what you do, it's just not enough, is it? Yeah, drink more water. I don't know. My boss at Pizza Port gave me a small poster when he saw that I was lightheaded and I almost collapsed onto a table. This was a long time ago. This was during the summer of 2022, so things were extra heavy back then. But he said about 2 of these make about what is it, a pint. So, and then he said 8 pints, or no, excuse me, 12 pints a day is what you need. And I'm like, Jesus, I feel like my bladder walls would really get stretched to their limit. You know, it's like continually shoveling an oversized almond up my ass just repeatedly. So just 12 pints, I think that would do something to my body, but it's apparently very hydrating. I just don't believe that is like the minimum or the average because very few people drink that much. And I see most people out here aren't just collapsing and having their skin fall off. So I think that 12 might be too much. When our longer stream is coming, when I feel like it. But to answer another related question that nobody asked, when our earlier streams coming? Well, my friend, right now, I'm trying to get into a new grind set. I'm trying to do this more often. But you know, a cool thing about this stuff being short and sweet, I end up having plans in the middle of the day often, so that might end up making these streams shorter than people might want. But I could have this stream function like a continuation of the online interaction chamber where streams could last for 2.5 hours. I remember I had a stream that lasted 3.5 hours. I believe that was a paper stream too. I haven't done it in a while, honestly. I need to do that more. I wish I could stream more often so I could kind of get less disoriented when I'm streaming because streaming has become more alien for me recently, and I don't understand why. I think I need my own space because this is a living room, so there's always like the peril of, say, the plumber knocking on the door, you know, to get the small Happy Meal toy out of our shit clogged toilet drain. You know, this is the communal area. Everybody walks through here. I no longer have my own space. That area underneath the bunk bed, if you guys watch my old videos from years ago, that's gone now. So I need to set up some desk or something like that so I can consistently stream and have my own space where I could stream for hours and not be interrupted. That's still a project on hold, but we're working on it. So technically, in a way, I am working on a situation to stream for longer. But 14 minutes is pretty solid. That's like 9 solid pop songs long. Each pop song averages about 3.5 to 2.5 minutes, and still only 3 people are here. So even if I did longer streams, I'm not sure how much of a difference that would make. I think a lot of the people who are subbed to this channel are subbed to it out of pure novelty. They just appreciate the general gist and idea of the series rather than each individual stream and the interactions. So, you know. The optimal amount is 8. Okay. So it turns out my boss was full of shit. I don't like soda, or maybe I just misheard him. I knew it was divisible by 4, whatever number he said. But yeah, 8 pints. That's still a hell of a lot, but I feel that makes more sense than 12. Well, I do more content besides paper eating. Have you checked out my main channel? Last video I came out with on there was about 2 to 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, I think. I actually filmed a new video, and by the way, good content, it's the complete antithesis of this channel. By the way, believe it or not, for those who are new here, this channel is my second channel. This is not my main channel. And unfortunately, the second channel has overtaken the main channel in subs ×2 and only because not like the quality of the content on here, it's actually mass-produced microplastic type content. Nothing about it is better than my main channel. It's just that I make it a lot more frequently and reliably. I subscribed just now. Oh, shit. How about that? Yeah, I have a much longer history. Like, my history on this channel goes back to 2019. My history on the main channel goes back to 2017. And in my opinion, a lot of the content I put out on there, there's variety. There's no repeats. In fact, I make it as unmarketable as possible. There's nothing for the algorithm to latch onto. Each new video that I make on good content is a new type of creative project that is nothing like the last one. I'm trying to, to me, I think anything that I do on YouTube were to be considered artistic prowess, which is debatable, the closest thing to that would be the main channel because I really am proud of what I've done on there. They're heavily edited, they're thought out, occasionally scripted. It's a combination of scripting and rambling. I'm not that hard of a worker, you know, but I'm working on making things better and more frequent. So it's been a point of contention that I've had with myself for many years. The fact that the main channel has almost taken a backseat to this stupid side project that got unexpectedly popular. You know, it's like, what? The number gets bigger in the title. It's fun. So I just didn't stop. And before I knew it, this thing got out of control. And now there are people here who saw my channel and know me as paper reading guy. And they don't know about my main channel, which is kind of bonkers. So, but I did that to myself, you know. The channel has gone semi-retirement. You should use shorts to promote your main. It's actually sad how your good videos have less than 500 views. I mean, the cool thing about the internet, unless YouTube takes a giant shit and their servers completely black out, is that those videos aren't going away. This is not like Instagram stories. There is no 24-hour expiration period. So the way I see it, I think that I can plug those old videos that I released years ago on good content as much as I want. Plus, in my opinion, it's not the best view ratio, but the latest video I came out with on good content, which was my blackface school speech, which came out way better than I thought it would. You know, it's 10.5 minutes. It's a long form video, but it flows really well. I think all of the pictures I edited in there, it took a hell of a lot of work. That whole projector effect was so nightmarish to deal with. I basically had to render 2 layers of the same video, color coded in different ways on top of each other. It was awful. But yeah, it's going to stay. It's going to stay, and it can always be rewatched, revisited. And I have notifications for Studio turned on for my main account. So if anything gets deleted, I'll hear about it. I'll preserve it. I'll find some way to dispute it. Make sure it's all preserved forever. So when I find some way, when I have the time to devise an actual intelligent way to use shorts, like you're saying, to plug my main stuff. I mean, I try to plug my good content videos on my Instagram, but I haven't been doing that recently. I've just been so fucking preoccupied. You know, I'm making attempts. Matthew Hughes says, I'm a god. Jesus Christ. You guys are making me want to stream a little longer. Please tell me that again. But yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice that people are caring about more than just the fact that I eat paper on the internet. That's very nice of you. So the main channel, it's still around. It will still be around. And get ready to see more because I filmed a new video for it a long time ago. It's not going to be as good as the blackface speech one, but honestly, a lot of my videos, the initial footage, I think is so bad. But I edit it. and I am a pretty fair editor. It's just editing's so painful for me. So, it's the end effect is fine. It's like giving birth, right? You see my canal walls are stretching, right? I have to destroy a part of myself to do it. I'm moaning and groaning whilst doing it. Editing is not fun. I don't think anyone actually takes significant joy out of editing, even those who get paid for it. But the effect after you're done with the editing, right? It's great. It's really, really great. I'm very proud of what I do. It's just I have a monthly subscription to Creative Cloud, and it's being wasted every month. I don't edit a main channel video, so I should get my ass on that. It's just I have no time today. But winter break's coming. There's going to be a whole open week of days with nothing going on except for the one day I have work, which is today. And hopefully I'll chip away at it, right? I want to make it a routine. It's like I have to concentration camp style, forced labor in prison style, force myself to do this type of editing. But I believe it'll be extremely rewarding. If I can make the normal thing and not slack off, I believe that I could put out one main channel video a month, if not maybe more. So hold on. God damn. That was the last piece, by the way. So before we wrap it up, I'm just going to read a couple of the last chats here. Just like Uncle Samson, I'm going to have to Google that one. It was not as popular when it came out, but now it's growing in popularity. No, so I actually watched this documentary, and it's called 10 Feet from Stardom. It's not the best documentary. It's edited. A lot of documentaries are made with pretty generic craftsmanship, but this particular documentary is about something that's so fascinating, and it's about the unknown titans of the music industry, but they're not main artists and no one knows who they really are, but their voices have been everywhere because they're background singers. That's what the documentary is about. It's about the background singers and famous artists' albums and songs, and they've been heard. That whole I don't even know what song this is, but it's a very famous Christmas song from the 60s. And the background singer for that actually was the one who sang the song because the main singer who was credited with singing in the song got sick. But this lady who was supposed to be a backup singer, her voice was so good, in fact, better than the lady who got credited for singing the song, sang it instead. And what's kind of fucking crazy to me is no one still knows who they are, but when background singers try to break into the mainstream and become their own artist, it seems like the industry is built up against someone who's already established themselves in the supporting bottom layer of the pyramid to move up. You're better as a non-famous, non-industry associated person breaking in from scratch than you are as an already established backup singer. The industry is built in a way when once your status is established in those layers of the pyramid, you're never getting out. Like these backup singers were almost completely fucking screwed in every way from being their own person. And it's really, really, really sad. And I think awareness is being raised through that documentary. Unfortunately, it's not the best documentary ever, but the interviews and like the history of what they're talking about is quite interesting. So here, let me see if I can find it on Letterboxd so I can show you the from Stardom. How about I think I got the number of feet wrong. 20 feet from Stardom. Okay. Turns out very far away from Stardom. But yes, 20 feet, not 10 feet. It's 2013, Morgan Neville, a 3.7, which is unfortunate. But I gave it a 7. Yeah. But Darlene Love, Lisa Fisher, Judith Hill, like these ladies here have done more for music than anyone would ever imagine based off how no one fucking knows who they are. But they were backup singers. Like there was this group of 3 ladies, and they were backup singers on Stevie Wonder's best hits, Michael Jackson's greatest hits, the Beatles' best hits. They were the what is it? They were the choir singers on a couple Pink Floyd songs, some Rolling Stones songs, and they're still making content. And I believe they were featured on a couple modern hip hop records. But yeah, it's just crazy how there's a huge crossover between eras and genres that you would never expect with backup singers that no one knows. And I feel like anyone who's interested in music and art would love to hear about it. It's just you naturally don't, because backup singers are backup singers. But that's what it, there was a whole thing about one of these ladies, and she's been doing stuff since she was super young, but she's not famous. Got me thinking about the futility of creating something, especially if you're an artist or an entertainer or someone who does whatever the hell I'm doing right now. It got me really thinking, what does kind of success even mean, right? Is it about the hustle or is it about the payoff? Probably a combination of both, but what is the ratio? And obviously, the ratio of what it means to me, the meaning is what you make of it, right? Obviously. But I've been thinking about these ladies, and they're quite an anomaly because they're extremely respected within the industry, not respected outside the industry by the commoners. And I think it got me thinking just because I'm producing stuff right now and I'm putting the work in and I'm not getting, or I feel like I'm not getting recognized on a massive scale enough for it, that means a lot more than I make it mean to me on occasion. Like, if I really think about it, I'm fine. I'm creating stuff, it's getting put out there. I am giving myself opportunities to be rediscovered however long it takes, despite how absolutely saturated the internet is. I think that there is some, I want to have faith that there is some sort of sticking power with my internet content, specifically on YouTube. So nothing's guaranteed, but my hope is that in whatever distant slash not too distant future, just like those ladies from 20 Feet from Stardom, which is a great documentary, she finally got discovered, not on the level of like Michael Jackson or whatever, but she got discovered as an actual singer when she was like in her 70s and 80s. Like, she was old as heck. She could barely even walk, and that's when she got her fame. And people see that as sad because it's like success only matters if you get it in your teens or your 20s, right? People see that as the prime success era. But 20 Feet from Stardom presents a very interesting perspective, which is if you just keep working, that effort will convert to something given patience. If you put the work in, stuff that you did when you're younger will become success in old age, and that's just as valid, than if you work right now when you're young and you get recognized immediately. They're obviously not equivalent, but I think that what I define as good success or mediocre success, I think that's all so stupid. I realize how dumb that is, and I impose those labels on myself. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing enough, when really I'm putting the work in. This stuff is going to remain on the internet. And if anyone discovers it later, I made it when I was young. When I was young, I was putting the work in, and I'm happy with that. That should be satisfying enough for me because it's the best that I can do. Feels weird, but nice to talk to someone at midnight. Aw, well, you're going to be more alone at midnight because I'm planning on doing less of these at midnight, but you might get a couple of them. Also, when I forget to do streams, probably at around midnight, I will film a pre-recorded, so you can have a pre-recorded video of me talking and eating toilet paper to keep you company. So you're welcome. I really enjoy your work. Thank you. It's very generous calling this work. I'm just talking, which I do anyways, and I'm eating paper, which I do anyways, but okay, that's true. I don't, but thanks, Mom. I love you. But no, I appreciate your appreciation because you know what takes the most work? It's really externally appreciating somebody. That's labor right there. So I like listening to you ramble. Very cool. Thank you. You guys are so fucking. I'm gonna put my score for the day. I'm glad I did this after and not before because he bumped it up to 8.5. I was feeling like a 6.7, but the two of you on the internet, you guys made a difference. 8.5 out of 10. But that was day 816. More streams a little earlier, so you guys can engage under more optimal, more mentally healthy circumstances where you're not messing up your what are they called? Oh fuck! Your circadian rhythms. That's what they're called. So make sure to laugh. Wait, hold on. Excuse me. Thank you for watching day 816 of Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day. I will see you tomorrow. That'll be day 817. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. 3, 2, 1. Shit. Okay, there we go.